Okay. Uh, it is a genetic disorder, and hemoglobinopathies is a term which is used to describe the disorder, which is either caused by the synthesis of abnormal hemoglobin molecule or the production of insufficient quantity of normal hemoglobin, called as hemoglobinopathies, which is broadly classified under two categories, qualitative and quantitative. In qualitative, there is an abnormal hemoglobin molecule, means there is a defect in a structure of normal hemoglobin molecule, which leads to disease like sickle cell anemia, hemoglobin C, hemoglobin D, and hemoglobin E. While quantitative, there is a decrease or absence of normal hemoglobin, means there is a defect in synthesis of normal hemoglobin molecule, which leads to the disease like thalassemia. Before we go further in the detail with the diseases, first we will see the structure of normal and abnormal hemoglobin and their synthesis. So ma'am, please change the slide.
Speak slowly, okay? Speak slowly so that everybody can listen carefully.
Okay ma'am. Ma'am, can you please change?
I have changed the slide.
So we see the structure of normal hemoglobin. As we know that hemoglobin is a red blood pigment which is present in our blood. It is a conjugated protein, means it have a protein part also and a non-protein part. So here the protein part is a globin and a non-protein part is a heme. Now we'll see the structure of globin. There are four polypeptide chains, alpha 2 and beta 2, which is the most common form of adult hemoglobin, that is HbA1, which consists of two alpha and two beta chain. The alpha chain contain 141 amino acid, while the beta chain contains 146 amino acid, having total 574 amino acids, when which are joined by hydrogen ionic and hydrophobic bonds. As you see in the figure, there are two chains of alpha 1 and alpha 2, while in beta 1 and beta 2. And the red pigment which is seen in the figure is the heme, which contain the protoporphyrin 9 and Fe at the center. Ma'am, please next. Ma'am, can you please change the slide?
I have changed the slide.
Ma'am, the next slide is not visible.
Is it not visible?
No, ma'am.
Now, is it visible? Is it visible now?
No, ma'am. Okay. Now it is visible, ma'am. So here is a concept of globin synthesis. Here we see that the globin genes are divided into two families, alpha gene family and a beta gene family. In alpha gene, there are homologous chromosome 16, from which 4 alpha genes are contributing to the alpha part of the hemoglobin, while from the homologous chromosome 11, there are 2 beta genes contributing for the beta part of the hemoglobin. So alpha gene are present on the homologous chromosome 16 and beta gene is present on the homologous chromosome 11. Ma'am, please next.
Is it visible? Next slide.
No, ma'am.
Change the slide. Now.
No. Yes, ma'am. It is visible now. Now we'll see the how the abnormal hemoglobin will leads to disease. So basically the abnormality is associated with the amino acid, means there is a defect in a globin chain, while the heme portion is normal. and the defect is due to the mutation in the gene that code for the alpha or beta chain of the globin. And approximately there are 400 mutant hemoglobins are known, and the 95% are due to the single alteration of the single amino acid or the globin. Ma'am, please change the slide.
Yeah. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, ma'am. First, we see the qualitative, means in which there is a defect in the structure of the hemoglobin, which leads to the disease like sickle cell anemia. Now, the sickle cell anemia is an autosomal recessive disorder, and it is the most common form of the abnormal hemoglobin. So, we will see this disease under following heading like shape of RBC, its occurrence is molecular basis, abnormality associated, its mechanism, how the sickle trait will provide the malarial resistance, its diagnosis and management. Ma'am, please next.
Can you see it now? Next slide.
No, ma'am.
It will be visible. Now?
No, ma'am. Yes,
Now?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The sickle cell hemoglobin shape. It is normally normal RBCs are a round or biconcave shape, but in this disease, the shape of RBCs changes into sickle shape, and hence the name of the disease is sickle cell anemia. Its occurrence, it is largely confined to the tropical area of the world, and it is primarily occur in the black population. It is estimated that 1 in 500 infants of the USA is suffering from this disease. Now its molecular basis. As I said, it is a autosomal recessive disorder. So here the glutamate is replaced by valine at the 6th position of the beta chain due to the missense mutation, that is change in single amino acid. Here we can see that CTC changes into CAC, means thymine is changes into adenine, which leads to formation of GUG in place of GAG. So due to which there is incorporation of valine in the place of glutamine, which leads to the disease sickle cell hemoglobin. Now it is autosomal recessive, so it's have both form, homozygous and heterozygous. So the homozygous hemoglobin, in which there is inheritance of the mutant gene from both the parents, which leads to HBS and HBS. These patients, these individuals can't live much more life. They die before the age of 20. While in the heterozygous hemoglobin, there is inheritance of only gene from only one parent. Leads to formation of HBA and HBS, and they are called as sickle cell trait.
Okay.
The sickle trait individuals are normal. They lead normal life. Ma'am, next slide.
Is the slide visible?
No, ma'am.
No. Not visible.
No, ma'am.
No.
Yes, ma'am. Now we'll see the abnormality which are associated with this disease. So first is lifelong hemolytic anemia. In this, the RBC are fragile, so there is continuous breakdown and lysis, which leads to long life anemia. Then second is tissue damage and pain. In this, the sickle cell block the capillaries because of their shape, resulting in poor blood supply to tissue, leading to extensive damage and inflammation of certain tissue, which causes pain. Third is increased susceptibility to infection. There is hemolysis and tissue damage, which are accompanied by increase in susceptibility to infection and disease. Then there is premature death, which in this the homologous individual, in this the homologous individual die before the age of 20 years. Next is sickle cell crisis. It happens when the sickle block the small vessels which carry the blood to bones. which leads to pain in their back, knee, leg, arm, and chest. The pain may be throbbing, sharp, dull, and the pain can begin suddenly and last for several hours to days to the bones. Ma'am,
You see the next slide.
no, ma'am.
Now,
No, ma'am.
now can you see?
Yes. Now will we see the sickling mechanism, how the RBCs get aggregate in the anemic patient. See the figure. They are sticky patches. The blue color sticky patches is. Ma'am, please change the slide.
I've changed the slide. The sticky patches diagram is here.
Yes, ma'am. In this diagram, the blue color sticky patches, which are present on oxy-HBS and also present on deoxy-HBS. While the sticky patch receptor, red color, they are present deoxy-HBA and deoxy-HBS. On oxy-HBS, there are blue patches, but they can't aggregate because the corresponding receptors are not present. And for same for the deoxy-HBA, the receptors are present, but the patches are not present there, so they don't lead to aggregation. But in deoxy-HBA, they have both blue color sticky patches also and red color receptors also. So they lead to aggregate and they polymer to form a long fibrous thread which precipitate, and these stiff fiber distort the erythrocytes into a sickle shape, which are highly vulnerable to lysis, and which leads to this disease.
Can you see the next slide? Roll number 142, please mute your speaker.
Yes, ma'am. The next eye is now visible.
Not visible. Now is it
Yeah.
visible?
Yes, ma'am. Now we'll see how the sickle cell trait provide resistance to the malaria. Now in the sickle cell trait, 40% is HBS is present. So it will appear to an adaptation to individual in the malaria infested region. So there are some factors. First is the malaria is caused by parasite Plasmodium falciparum in Africa, in which the parasites spend a part of life cycle in the RBC, but the sickle cell RBC are sickle shape and they continuously lead to the lysis, which leads to shorten the parasite cycle. Second is the concentration of potassium is low in sickle cell, which is unfavorable for the parasite to survive. And the third is malarial parasite increases the acidity of the RBC itself to about 40%, which normally is 0.2%. But in sickle cell, it after the entry of the parasite, the acidity increases to 40%. And therefore, the entry of malaria parasite itself promotes sickling, which leads to lysis of the erythrocytes.
Can you see next slide?
Yes, ma'am. Now, how will you diagnose the sickle cell disease? So there are two methods. First is sickling test. In this, there is microscopic examination of the blood smear, which is prepared by adding the reducing agent like sodium dithionite. And second is electrophoresis. In this, in the alkaline medium, that is 8.6, see the figure of electrophoresis. First, we will load the samples at the origin, the samples of HB and SBS. After allowing the current, we can see that the HBA will show fast mobility towards the positive, that is anode, but HBS show slow mobility because it have valine which is less negative than glutamine. That's why HBA reaches first to the anode side, positive side, because it have glutamine in that.
Can you see next slide?
No, ma'am.
Now,
No.
now is it visible?
No, ma'am.
Now it is visible.
Visible. Now we see how we can manage the sickle cell disease by administration of sodium cyanate, which inhibit the sickling of erythrocyte cyanate, which increases the affinity of oxygen to HbS and lower the formation of deoxy-HbS. But however, it have certain side effects like peripheral nerve damage. Second is administration of hydroxyurea. It is a myelosuppressive agent which reduces the frequency of painful episodes, and it raises the HbF, the another form of hemoglobin which is present in the fetal life. Third is repeated transfusion. In this patient, in severe patient, the blood is transfused, but it may result in iron overload, ferritin overload, etc., and leads to cirrhosis of liver. Fourth is replacement of HbS. Means the hemoglobin is replaced with another form of hemoglobin like HbF, which reduces the sickling. And the last is the gene replacement therapy.
Wait, you'll see
Ma'am,
this next slide. Yeah. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, ma'am. Now we have seen the sickle cell disease. Now we see another qualitative disease like HBC disease, HBD, and HBE. In HBC, in Cooley's hemoglobinia, there is a substitution of glutamate by lysine in the sixth position of the beta chain. In this, the HBC, when we diagnose it in the electrophoresis, we find that HBC moves slowly in electrophoresis than HBS and HBA. It have both the forms, homozygous and heterozygous. It is characterized by mild hemolytic anemia, and there is no specific therapy recommended for this disease. Next is HBD disease. In this, there is substitution of glutamate by glutamine at 121st position of beta chain. HBD moves along with the HBS on electrophoresis, and there are several variants are identified by suffix HBD Punjab, HBD Los Angeles, etc. The next is HBE disease. In this, there is a substitution of glutamate by lysine at 26th position. And this is the most common abnormal form after HBS. It is estimated that about 10% of the population in Southeast Asia is suffering from this disease, and they have no clinical manifestation. So in HBC disease, there is substitution of glutamate by lysine at 6th position. In HBD, there is substitution of glutamate by glutamine at 121st position. And in HBE, there is substitution of glutamate by lysine at 26th position.
Actually, in the slide, you will see it. Is the slide visible?
Oh, ma'am.
Now is it visible?
No, ma'am. Now it is visible. Now we'll see the quantitative. In quantitative, there is a defect in a synthesis of normal hemoglobin. So it is a group of hereditary hemolytic disorder which is characterized by impairment in the synthesis of normal globin chain of hemoglobin. It is mostly occur in the region surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, and hence the name. And it is prevalent in the Central Africa, and in India it is prevalent in West Bengal. Its molecular basis is like there might be defect in the there might be gene deletion or substitution. There might be underproduction or instability or defect in initiation of chain synthesis or premature chain synthesis.
Next slide visible.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is there. So first see the alpha thalassemia. In alpha thalassemia, there is absence of one or more than one alpha genes. Ma'am, it is not visible. Now it is visible. So there is a decrease in synthesis or total absence of globin, alpha globin chain. There are 4 types depending upon the alpha globin chain present or missing. So you can see there, there are in normal there are 4 alpha genes. So there's no clinical symptoms will be developed, but in silent carrier there is one missing gene, which show no clinical symptoms. The next is alpha thalassemia trait, which is a heterozygous form. In this, two genes are missing of alpha globin chain, which leads to minor anemia. The third is hemoglobin H disease. In this, there are 3 genes of alpha are missing, which leads to mild to moderate anemia, but they lead normal life. And the last, which is more serious, that is hydrops fetalis. In this, all the 4 genes are missing, which leads to death within 1 to 2 years. The next is beta thalassemia.
Because when you said genes are missing, you are supposed to say chains are missing. Okay, the genes are not missing.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it clear? Is the slide visible?
No, ma'am.
Now,
No, ma'am.
it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am. In beta thalassemia, there is decrease or total absence of the beta globin chain, but the production of alpha globin chain continue to be normal, leading to formation of alpha globin tetramer that can precipitate, which causes premature death of the erythrocytes. So it is also it is of 2 types. First is thalassemia minor or trait. In this, only one chain is missing, which is usually asymptomatic. The individual will lead to normal life. And the second is thalassemia, beta thalassemia major, in which both the globin chains are missing, and the individual will
Siddhi, you are not audible. Siddhi, you are not audible.
Ma'am, please can you change the slide?
Is the slide visible?
No, ma'am.
Now,
No, ma'am.
it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am. Now how we diagnose the thalassemia? First is by blood test. In this, the hemoglobin level decrease, MCV level, RBC distribution will increases. The blood, when we check for the blood smear, they are microcytic, means the RBC size are small. Hydrochromic means the color will changes from red to pale. When we investigate for the lab work, we will find there is high iron because of repeated blood transfusion. There leads to iron load, which leads to increase in iron, increase in ferritin and transferrin. And for the confirmed hemoglobin, there is electrophoresis. In this, the level of HbA will decrease, but the level of HbF will increases, and HbA2 will increases. And for its treatment, the repeated blood transfusion is the only treatment for the thalassemia.
Finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Is roll number 42 there?
No, ma'am.
Awesome. So we'll ask from 41 to 50 questions on hemoglobinopathies. Roll number 41 is there?
Yes, ma'am.
What is hemoglobinopathy?
Ma'am, it is used to describe the disorders caused by the synthesis of abnormal hemoglobin or production of decrease in the quantity of normal hemoglobin.
Roll number 43. 43 is there? Roll number 43. Yes or no? Is roll number 43 there? Roll number 43. Forty-four is there? 44 is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how will you classify hemoglobinopathy?
Ma'am, hemoglobinopathies can be classified as quantitative or qualitative. Quantitative is when there is abnormal hemoglobin molecule, and quantitative is due to the decrease or absence of normal hemoglobin.
Roll number 45.
Yes,
45
ma'am.
is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is
Hello.
sickle cell anemia?
Ma'am, it is the abnormality of hemoglobin molecule in which the RBC changes their shape in sickle shape. Hello. Hello.
Roll number 45. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you are not audible. What is sickle cell anemia?
Ma'am, it is a condition in which the erythrocyte changes their shape due to low oxygen availability, which is shaped into sickle cell.
Okay. Roll number 46 is there? 46. Roll number 46 is there? 48.
Yes, ma'am.
48 you are.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is the molecular basis for sickle cell anemia? What is the molecular basis for sickle cell anemia?
The glutamate is replaced by the valine on the sixth position in the single nucleotide.
At what chain? Which globin chain? Which globin chain this replacement occurs? Roll number 49 is there.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by sticky patches?
Ma'am, sticky patches are present in the sickle cell anemia, which lead to the formation of the irregular formation of the erythrocytes, which causes abnormal production of hemoglobin.
Roll number 50.
Yes, ma'am.
Why sickle cell triad? They are resistant to malaria.
Uh, uh, because malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum, and that parasite spends a part of life cycle in RBC, and already RBCs have changed their shape to sickle shape. That's why they cannot complete their life cycle. And other reason, potassium concentration in sickle cell is low, which is unfavorable for parasite. And third is malarial parasite increase the acidity of RBCs, which causes lysis. That's why.
Okay. So we have completed this seminar today on hemoglobinopathies. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.